an F650 BMW. Well, basically, they are one of the best BMWs that they ever made. A really nice middleweight bike, superb and easy to ride, and very easy to look after. But if you're thinking of buying one, what should you look for? What things has it got that need attention? This will help you decide to buy the next BMW on your list. There's three things on the F650 which really need attention. Although obviously you're going to look at the usual stuff, chains, tyres, suspension, all of that sort of stuff. I won't go into that at the moment because obviously that's subject of another video, but this is about the little idiosyncrasies of the F650 itself. What things should you really be concerned about? The first one is the sprag clutch. The symptom for this playing up is that the starter motor will spin, but the engine struggles to turn over, and there's a nasty noise coming from the right hand side of the engine. If this occurs, the sprag clutch needs changing. It's reasonably straightforward, but it's a great way to knock the price down quite a lot. So here you can see where the sprag clutch is located. You remove the right hand side engine cover, and then you can see the alternator rotor. Now you have to remove the rotor. Special tool is required to pull it off, but once that is off, you can then gain access to the sprag clutch immediately behind it. There's a gear bolted to the back of it, and the sprag clutch is within that gear. It's fairly easy and simple to replace once you've got that rotor off. Make sure you remove the ignition pickup, because if you damage that, then obviously you'll have to replace that as well. So, second thing to look out for is the water pump. Now, the water pump is located on the left hand side of the engine, behind the little cover where two pipes go into, the water pipes obviously. Now what you have to watch out for here is when the engine's running, there mustn't be any water dripping out from underneath. If there is, then there could be a problem with the water pump. To do the water pump, you have to remove the cover and remove the shaft, impeller and the seals. I have done a video on how to do the water pump on one of these bikes. It's reasonably straightforward. The kit's about 40-50 quid, but once again, if you're looking to buy a bike, you don't really want to have a bike with a water pump issue straight away, because if it runs out of water, it could overheat, and then you're talking big problems then. So check for water leaking out from underneath the water pump cover. The third thing to look out for on these bikes is the voltage regulator. The voltage regulator lives under the seat. It must be cooled. Unfortunately, where it lives, it doesn't always get cool air, and it can overheat. When it overheats, you get all sorts of problems. The bike won't start properly, won't rev properly, all sorts of problems with it. So be very careful if you get a bike that's not running properly, because it might be the voltage regulator that's causing the issue. The cure for the voltage regulator problem obviously is a new regulator, but in order to stop it happening again, it's quite a common fix that people relocate the voltage regulator to a more cooling situation, to the side of the mudguard underneath, so that the air that's being raced across there cools it easier, and therefore stops it causing problems. But definitely that is one to look out for. Another thing to look out for as well, because there is quite long suspension travel on the rear suspension, double check that the chain is correctly adjusted. There must be 30mm midway. There are separate rollers on the chain to stop it from flexing around too much, but because the suspension moves quite a long way, you have to have these. But double check that the chain is correctly adjusted, because a badly adjusted chain can cause unbelievable grief. There you go, the BMW F650. This particular model I'm showing here is the Funduro, but what a fabulous bike. But be careful, look around, spend a bit of time and listen to what I've said. Hopefully it will help you find the bike that will give you the most pleasure. Good luck and hope to see you soon.